Hail, Internet! It's Paul, it's Matt, the Dork Lords. We are here talking about The Expanse, Season 6, Episodes 1 through 5.
Thought we forgot about it, didn't you?
We kind of did, but didn't. No, holidays and vacations kind of took over, but we got back here just in the nick of time.
Better late than never.
So we're going to do a pre-series finale recap and then a post-series finale recap. So we're going to talk about what's happened already this season and then give a little thoughts on what we think is about to happen in the finale. So episode 5 ended with Drummer and Avasarala shaking hands, something that probably seemed unthinkable, in episodes past. But really cool scene there with a meeting of the minds, and we've got now Inners and Belters agreeing, at least in some principle, to go against Marco. Before we launch into other stuff, good sir, what are you taking out of this season?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe that it's ending. I certainly hope they continue because I really think the show is an excellent show. I like the writing and everything. So it's they're bringing these characters along, and the core has always been the crew of the Rocinante, and I feel that in many ways that's as strong as ever.
Yeah, I mean the writing for this show, the dialogue is just top notch. The effects all look great. You really get that feel of them being in space. We've talked about this, with season 5, but continuing on here with season 6, it looks great, it feels great, and the writing is solid.
The world builders, and there was at least a number of times this season where I was thinking about what a contrast this show is in terms of its portrayal of space and other shows like Star Trek Discovery. This season, where they were doing all that tech after the fight with the Pella. And, it feels like, okay, they had to fix stuff.
Right. There's even that line when Peaches says, he's like, we got to fix this thing. And she's like, what, during the fight? And he's like, that's the job. That's the job. Yeah. It does feel more, oddly to say, more grounded when you're talking about in space. But there's a feeling of more reality to this thing. And yeah, it is well written. And you can see how, because the story writers are involved in this process, that they're paying attention to these connections between our main characters, our heroes, and our villains. Just in very general terms, what's been happening this season. There's a war between the Free Navy, Marco, Polo, and the Inners. And so Marco's been sending more and more asteroids, basically hurtling towards Earth in an effort to keep Earth busy defending itself. So they're kind of successful. Earth is kind of successful at defending itself, but still some of the smaller rocks get through, and there's still damage happening, and Earth is getting trashed.
And that was an interesting aspect of how the Free Navy was bedeviling Earth there with those hidden asteroids or whatever. Once they figured that out, how that
they're kind of piloting the asteroids.
Yeah.
They're using like a central command ship. The Rossi figures that out, and so that threat gets eliminated. And then kind of the next phase is that Marco decides to abandon Ceres Station, which has a whole bunch of Belters in it. So he's in some ways abandoning his own people, which has a negative PR spin. But his intent is, hey, when the Inners go take that station over, which inevitably they will, and they do, they're going to have this giant economic crisis on their hands that they're going to have to try to feed all these people, and when they don't, they'll get the blame. And so that's his thinking, and it's a little mix and match. There's some cost benefit there, but it seems like, especially at the end of this episode 5, when Drummer brings all these supplies, it seems to be at least ameliorating that situation in this moment, and so the Inners kind of catch a break. What we've come to is, hey, the big ring gate, the Inners go and attempt to take it over Medina Station, but they find out it's been rigged with rail guns, and it's like almost an impenetrable fortress kind of thing now going on. So they figure once Marco can get the Pella, his ship, through the ring gate, he can kind of sit there, get infinite supplies, and defend the crap out of this thing. And basically, all travel is going to have to go through Marco. So the last episode here of the series is who gets to the ring gate first, and there's going to be a big fight at the ring gate for control of this
resource.
Yeah. So that's kind of where we've led up to.
I think we should get out of the way the thing that's bothered you the most.
Okay, so I mean, because I don't want to start off with like, meh, but
I know,
okay.
and we have it. We're like, we're 6-7 minutes into it, so you can
that's
say
right.
now.
So the thing that is bothering me about this season are these cold opens, where we open with we're following the journey of this little girl on Laconia, and the folks in this Laconia are using a protomolecule technology to attempt to connect with this giant ship that's a battle station in orbit, and also they're kind of creating new life on the planet. These strange dogs, as the title of the first episode is, she uses their powers to resurrect her brother, but it's not really her brother. Anyway, I'm just not a fan. It's a different show. In fact, I mean, I hate to say this, but when I saw it show up in episode 5 again, I actually rolled my eyes. I was like, oh. Look at the watch. It was 5 minutes. I was like, come on now. Come on. Because it's just so disconnected from the rest of the show. And now we only got one episode left. I think the idea, I mean, if there was going to be a season 7, this is, I think, laying the groundwork for the future of Laconia. But is there a future of Laconia when you've got 1 hour of TV left? I mean, they'll show me. They'll show me how this makes sense. But I'll say this, even if they somehow make this make sense and fit it into the larger story, I feel like it's still not, like the process doesn't work with the result, even if they have a result that's satisfying. And I don't think they're going to, frankly. I didn't like it. It wasn't the show if this was the show, if that is like, oh, we're doing a sci-fi Pet Cemetery style show, I wouldn't watch it. I'd be like, all right. I mean, I really care about the Rossi. I really care about Avasarala, Marco. All that stuff's really and for 55 minutes of our, I might call it 55 minutes, but basically for a large percentage of the show, I'm committed. I'm invested. But to lead off with like 3 to 5 minutes of this completely unrelated story, which eventually will become related, maybe, but because the series is ending, probably won't. Ugh. Not a fan. Anyway, that's me.
Not me.
Okay, you're all in on it.
So I think it's fine. One of the things we also saw with this is that scientists bringing them information on here's a way to improve in the future on how much food we can produce on Earth with this technology that we got as a result of the protomolecule. And that's what this is related to too. All those scenes are also related to the protomolecule. So it's this show's version of Winter is Coming, and I think this is better. Well, it's a different kind of zombie because that kid
right.
is a different kind of zombie. So I mean, for me, I always thought it was curious that they were saying this is the final chapter. A friend of mine who's been letting me know about the books. He's read all the books, and they just came out with the last book, and so that finishes everything. And I was curious. I was like, "Is that really it?" And he tells me, "Yeah." And that it really is over. So there is more of the story.
Right. Those books go way past this moment in time. Yeah.
Yes. The story has an end, and the protomolecule and all this stuff is related to it. And so for me, I just thought it was curious. I didn't ever really trust the fact that this is supposed to be the end.
Okay, so you're just saying this is not the series finale, perhaps. And if so, then great. You've set some groundwork for what's happening, in the timeline of this universe. which I could give you if I knew there was going to be a season 7 and they're just laying groundwork for it. I would feel more sympathy for those scenes, even though I'm not a big fan of them. But I don't see that at the moment. I think this is the series finale, in which case, why? Why bother? Just give us more time with Holden and Naomi and just Deep Six.
I would say a reason why, and you might not respect that reason, but it's sort of like, okay, Amazon is saying, and I presume this to be true, I don't know, I haven't heard reporting, but Amazon is saying, you should end it at this point. And they're like, there's more to the story, but okay, we'll end it, but we can control how we end it, and this is how we're ending it, so that people can see that there's more.
Your point is that the series finale is kind of driven by, companies, and that the folks that are actually the showrunners are like, fine, but we're going to build in and out for if people eventually want to fund season 7.
Yeah.
Check it out. We got it ready.
That's my,
Okay. All right.
guess. I could be wrong.
Okay, that makes the most sense for why this particular, because it's in every single opening, every single episode. They're like, nope, we're spending time on this, And so, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, they're even basing some of the episode titles on it. So,
right, Strange Dogs. Perhaps that's like the last scene in the series. Evil, ominous-looking spaceship comes online, and like, whoa. But back to the story that I like. One of the main kind of moral choices that defines this season is the Rocinante is fighting the Pella.
Yes.
They've got him dead to rights.
Yes.
Shoot a missile. Boom!
Yes.
It's going to blow up the Pella, kill Marco, and notably Philip. And right at the last second, Holden disarms the missile so that it's a dud. Boom.
Yes.
And so in episodes following that, the crew starts to find out that indeed it was Holden who kept them from killing the enemy that they're trying to kill. His point being, hey, I'm not going to be responsible for killing Naomi's son. I want to have a relationship with this woman, and I can't bear that burden of being, oh yeah, by the way, I killed your son, and hey, you want to buy a house? Whatever. So, and so obviously that's tough to understand for some people like Amos, for instance. Be like, wait,
Bobby surprised me by laughing when she heard.
Right.
I thought she would have been like, excuse me, I got to kick Holden's ass. But no.
No. Maybe her dealings with Avasarala kind of, I don't know, made her think like there's more to it than just, killing the most folks or something.
And it led to a real conversation among grunts, about, not being concerned about what goes on over your head, basically.
Right. You're fighting for your immediate family, basically, of folks who would have your back. That's all you can kind of fight for in the moment. And that answer from Bobby to Amos seems to satisfy him enough that he kind of puts that aside and decides to, go back to the group. But there are some tense moments there, and even Amos and Holden have it out at one point. He's like, I don't have to effing explain myself to you. So they have it out. Then Naomi's like, whoa, wait, who gave you the right to make this decision? Like, her point is, I gave my son a chance. I was hostage on their ship, and I made the decision. I saw that there wasn't really a chance, so I left. And if you're going to hold me responsible for everybody that Marco kills after you disarm this missile, then you're putting that weight on me. So there's some really complex conversations going on there.
Oh, and Avasarala has really come from a long way. I mean, it was slightly. I wasn't crazy about the choice. I mean, I think it worked, but about Avasarala, I did this one thing that all the audience watching the show saw of hanging some guy. It's like, yeah, I guess we did see that. Was that the one thing you did? It's like that's a great example. You're right. We all saw that, and you did it. Yeah. It makes sense that, you still get other voices that are sort of wanting to cling to the old view of the inners. And you see, Avasarala is saying, we gotta, we can't just go
Kill
along
everybody.
this path. Yeah, especially when we're not even sure that it'll work.
Right, because this railgun system is such that it just destroyed 6 of their ships just like that.
Yeah.
And so when she asked the general, like, "What do you think this will work?" He's like, "Not really." So let's sacrifice a whole bunch of folks. We're gonna, what was it, the Zap Brannigan thing, where it's like, "I will send wave after wave of my men." You suck. So she chooses not to do that. The alarm going off is like the practically season-long study that Naomi's been doing about why ships are disappearing in the ring gates.
Right.
Holden's like, look, there's a problem. Occasionally ships are going through. The Bar Keith was one.
Right.
Figure it out. And she's kind of figured it out. Like, there's this weight limit, and once you hit this threshold, so point being, they can't just keep talking about that and not have a ship dissolve in the ring gate.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So episodes, and nothing has. So far this season, no ship has gone pew in the ring. So a ship is going to go pew in the ring gate in episode 6. Probably a ship we know about. Probably not the Rossi. So if I had to guess, Capella. Anyway, which one would it be?
Process of elimination of the only 2 ships that we're aware of.
Right. Or yes, third, like the red shirt ship. Oh. Look, that ship's got a giant red shirt on it. I'm going to go there. So that's another, Chekhov's ring gate. Do we think there's going to be significant deaths in this final episode? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to mat somebody. But before I do, what are your thoughts, good sir?
I mean, of the main cast, I'm not so certain. Clearly... Marco has to die.
Yeah, Marco's gone.
In order to end this, another way to do it, if he's wounded in a way that would be incapacitated, like, oh no, he can't fight anymore. He could just move his eyes.
They put him in a giant chair with the one button with yes, no, yes, no.
Yes. But obviously they won't do that. The reporter, she probably could die.
She's been putting herself, into potential dangerous situations.
Drummer's family, they probably even off the ship, they still die.
I feel like Michio, like the folks that just said, like, we're gonna stay on series, thanks.
Yeah.
Boom! Oh! They stayed there to be safe. Oh man!
The irony.
The irony.
I'm not sure if Marco's lieutenant makes it. I mean, in a way, I can see her making it because it's just sort of like, I was trying to save his ass. I was clearly smarter than him the whole time.
It does seem like she's always making what seem to be the most rational decisions.
Yes.
And then he occasionally accepts them, and usually he's like, eh. And you're like, okay, where did she come from?
It's like if Awa Sarala was watching the show, I think she'd be like, could someone make her an offer? It's like,
right.
To come over to us? It's like,
yeah. She seems to have read the scripts. I mean, she's that good. But the person who I think I'm going to mat for this is Peaches. I feel like we just had this talk about Amos and Bobby talking about what's important is fighting for the people that you care about, your family, basically. She has now, over this season, become to be accepted by the crew, and obviously she has a strong relationship with Amos. Amos, the guy that believed in her.
Right.
We know that when she flips on her implants, it causes health problems every time she does it. So my guess is she's going to flip on the implants to do something incredibly heroic, but she's going to overdo it and die in the process, saving Amos, is my thought.
Okay.
So that's my
it's not a crazy thought. Yeah.
But you're right, though. I don't see like Holden dying, for instance, or Avasarala dying or something. So,
right.
she's not necessarily at the level of that small group of folks that are big heroes, so it's not quite as impactful, perhaps. But I think she's probably the one that I would pick.
It's unlike Naomi's unlikely.
Right. I think even Drummer's unlikely, as much as she's going to be in a lot of danger. They already killed off Ash. I don't. It just feels weird.
She is the only person who. It's sort of like if she ended up dying, everybody like, yeah. See what happens when you team up with Earth. Yeah, it's like,
That's right.
It's like,
she just had that speech where she's like, yeah, boy, Belters. Every time they say it, agree to something that the Earthers do, they all die. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. So anyway, there you go. Peaches is my vote. Now, there's another person I'm not madding because until today I didn't think this character was going to die, and now I've changed my mind. But because it's so in flux, I'm not sure. But I'm going to throw out Philip as a possible death in this finale, and the reason is my original thinking was, hey, they didn't kill him. Holden had that speech. I'm not going to be the one that kills your son.
Right.
So that would be it would be pretty dark of the show to just be like, that's what I said a week ago. But now that we're fighting again, boom! So I don't think that's going to happen. And so for that reason, I was thinking, maybe he escapes the ship somehow before it gets destroyed or before Marco dies or something like that. That was kind of my thinking until today. But this morning, I was remembering the fact that in season 5, I think there's a recap where I talked about this. It's, he hits Naomi in anger. And I remember saying at the time, like, oh, you don't come back from that. Like, if they're trying to Kylo Ren this guy, nosedive, so.
Well, if they Kylo Ren him, then he'll die.
Right, but he'd be redeemed in death.
Anyway. Right.
But I'm just saying, like, he seems, and we haven't really seen him be particularly redeemable this season. We started off, he killed his associate in a bar fight.
They're friends.
Yeah, and he, that comes on the heels of him basically snapping in this bar because the bartender doesn't want to have sex with him. Like, he's not a likable guy. Plus, I'll say this, it's a choice, I'm sure, but he has like a permanent scowl on his face. I've just noticed every time you see him, he's like, and I think maybe the idea is, hey, he's constantly like depressed and angry, but it kind of comes off more as like, oh, that guy's a dick. I don't know, like he's just not a very likable character. Let's put it that way. Now right. He's having these moral quandaries a bit, and he's trying to live up to this image that he thinks his dad wants from him, but his dad is a terrible person, and so there's really no love really coming from that side. So I feel like it's going to come to a head in that I think Marco is going to kill his son, and so Philip will die at Marco's hands. It'll be kind of like the last terrible thing we see Marco do.
What events do you see preceding him killing his son?
I think Philip will object to something. Will somehow basically reject what the father's offering, or try to countermand him, or somehow. So
he will rebel.
He will rebel. Yeah, I think so. I think he's going to rebel, and Marco will kill him, and then. Basically, Marco's now free to be killed off.
What, like RoboCop? It's like, I cannot kill an employee. You're fired. Thank you.
You're fired. Yeah. Another thought is that if let's say Philip does somehow, whatever, takes off in a escape pod and escapes destruction. We then need to have a scene, I think, where he reunites with Naomi and they somehow rectify the past. And I feel like that's going to take time. I don't think you can do that in a couple of sentences.
No.
So do they have time to do that? And my thought is no. So that's another reason why I don't think they're going to have. He survives and has this change of heart, and then he and Naomi meet and they make amends. I just don't think I have time to do that. So, hence, quicker if he dies.
I guess. I mean, you could. Yeah. I mean, it seems like he's expendable, but I think the way to do it would be like, he's, we just taken him in. Somebody tells Naomi, Like he's okay. I don't want to see him yet, and then he's there, and you can assume that yet means at some point they will reconcile.
Right. You could do something where you're like, hey, eventually they're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, but I think dramatically, and I'm not always fond of this. Like I don't think that Kylo Ren thing. It's okay to have somebody realize they've done terrible things and then letting them live.
Right.
It's like that's okay dramatically, in my opinion.
Agreed.
It's like wait, we're about to kill you, but could you realize that you're a bad person first? Oh, sure. Okay, good. Now you can die.
Now we got you.
It's like, yeah.
And we even have some people that are living with, the knowledge that they did bad things in the past on the show. So.
Right, but that's why I'm less crazy about the idea of Clarissa dying.
Gotcha. She would fall into that bag for sure.
Yeah,
former
sort
villain, redeeming herself.
I'm so glad she had a little time to attach herself to, the Rocinante crew. So
right. I found a reason to die.
Yes. Yeah. It's like wait, we can't kill her when she's about to kill Holden, and then we just stop her. Let her live so that we can later kill her. So it's
all
like
right,
okay,
fair enough.
but
you're right.
We'll see. But it's clean dramatically. So I think if I had to put money on it, I'd put money that she's probably going to die.
I hear you though. I hear you. You're kind of saying that maybe that storyline should be put to bed for a while, like in terms of like that trope. And maybe that trope has gone its way, and maybe we don't have to constantly kill people off when they realize that they've been bad and are now trying to do something right. I got
it's like we know with Marco that he's never going to realize it, so he can just die. Although it's sort of like it's interesting. Like obviously dramatically, it was their choice to have him be in their crosshairs, and then live. So that he can die later after there's a truce between the Free Navy and Earth. So in that way, that's what he did. The sins of the Earth created Marco, and it would have created another person like Marco if it weren't for there are many times I thought, boy, if they just killed him back in season 3 or whatever, when the
Belters were going to space him, they
were going to, if they just killed him then, boy, they would be, you could argue that the fact that people are coming close together almost makes all the death worth it.
There you go.
And also it's like they got this all this great technology from the
proto-molecule,
and like all this land spreading out so far and wide, with these with these rings, and everything.
Conestoga wagons.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of good conversations that happen in episode 5. We've already talked about a couple of them. I think Bobby and Amos's conversation was very well written. I think the dialogue between Avasarala and Drummer was very good, but also Naomi and Drummer.
Yes.
That was a very powerful scene, but it was interesting. Naomi seems a little tone deaf in that moment because there's this bit where Drummer's like, "Well, my loved ones, they're all gone. So and so, they're dead. A few of them have left. These folks are just now abandoning me. They're staying on the station, so I'm alone." And then, like a few seconds later, Naomi's like, "Well, in this kind of crazy war, sometimes you just gotta fight for the ones you love." And then, which is what makes Drummer like, "What? I just said that I don't have anyone. Like, F you." Anyway, but they hug, so it's okay. But
but
it was
in Naomi's defense, it's not like their lives aren't in danger. Even though they're not with her. So, in theory, you could argue killing Marco would ensure that reprisals wouldn't be faced by her family.
It's a good point. She hasn't stopped loving them. They're just not in the same vicinity, not in the same ship, for instance.
Right, exactly, yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. It just seemed a little insensitive in the moment.
Yes,
Like she just was
that's
like,
why. Yes, that's
boy.
why. You know.
Because the implication is, because I've got a lot of people I love, and I'm doing like everything's great with me.
Yeah.
Oh, you? Oh.
Yeah. But she did offer. She's like, hey, if you got a better thing, we'll get behind you. Come on, drummer. It's like, no, I don't have anything else.
Yeah. I do like the character drummer a lot. I like the speech she gives to basically all the Belters, calling Marco a coward.
Yes.
Basically, she's, as she says, like, my options are either I join with the Inners and be their lapdog, or I just wait till the bounty gets high enough and somebody kills me off.
Yes.
It's like, woof. So she's really put herself in this really tenuous position, and so it's a cool. She's a character of her convictions, and it's really, it's a compelling character for sure.
Yeah.
So, that said, we are set up now then for not if you listen to Paul, but the series finale. Get ready for season 7. But theoretically, the series finale, and we'll be talking about it next week, along with the Book of Boba Fett. So, thank you, everybody. We appreciate it. Thank you, as always, Paul. Appreciate it, good sir.
Oh, sure.
And we'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.